What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are having a great week so far. If you're wondering why my voice is kind of messed up right now, it's because I've actually been super sick for the past kind of 48 hours. It's actually a little bit why I've actually been delayed on posting some videos, but also this week just so happens to be the class setting that I'm setting for the mentorship students that I've taken on as well. So between this week and next week, we'll be doing class settings before we set up for the one-on-ones with each of the students. So obviously, unfortunately, really bad timing for me when it comes to getting sick, but it is what it is. I want to actually just provide an update so far on how the month's been going so far, because I know it's been a couple days since I've shared. I want to talk about the price action today, where the progress has been made, and such as some perspectives on the overall market. If this is your first time following, drop a like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. And let's just get started here. So let's talk about today's price action on the New York session. So we saw a pretty big push down off the open. And so I did manage to catch a bit of this. I wasn't looking for a great deal because I wasn't feeling that good myself personally. So I'll kind of touch on this. So over the course of the pre-market, we had some news that got popped off at 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can see here, and it's just coincidentally, that it was right off the 200 EMA here as well. And we've kind of pretty much just catapulted up going into the New York Open. What I was looking for was some form of resistance here at my 460 AOI. If you've been following along, whether you're in the Discord or Instagram, whatever, you may be familiar with some of the spots that I screenshot because I don't hide them. They are shown in all my videos and whatever when I'm talking about it. So this 460 spot has been a spot that I've been looking at for quite some time. And if anything, actually, if you saw my Instagram yesterday, I talked about how I ended up taking a loss yesterday because in this day, which is the prior day on Tuesday, I had a long setup. And I got about up here, and I was really thinking that we were going to get at least a little bit closer because we were still about 15 points away. So I wanted at least 5 more points. And unfortunately, we never got that, and we never got follow through after that as well. So what could have been a winning trade for me ended up becoming a losing trade, but I trusted my plan and I left it as is. And one thing I'd like to say about this specific trade as well was that I may have entered the longs here and caught the move up. But the big thing here was about the fact that I trusted my plan. I stuck to it. I didn't size into the trade just because it was losing or whatever it may be. All those like tilting behaviors that we have as traders, it's been a long time coming, but I definitely have done a better job of controlling myself in that regard, which I took the loss for what it was. It was also a size for zero trade. So I was very content with I think it was a 40% loss, what I took on, if I remember correctly. Coming back to today again. We did end up coming to the spot today. And so after we had our first 2-minute failure here, I usually don't trade right off the open, especially if it was futures. I'd give it a little bit more time. But with options, I was comfortable with taking it because this was going to be one of those trades where I was going to be either right or I was going to be wrong real fast, right? So after this 2-minute failure, I took an entry for shorts here. And just between this down to this spot right over here, that alone gave me a 100% trade already. So I closed off my contracts, my options contract. Again, if you saw on Instagram or you're in the Discord, you already know this, right? So I took that. As we kind of move up, I really thought that we might have been able to actually hold this prior higher low that we had in the overnight to see if we can continue higher. So I did get into longs here as an attempt for options. I went about like 15% up, and then we came all the way back down. So then I closed that out. And so in the end of the day, I'm still green on the day, even though it came back to me and I took a loss on that second trade because my first trade was 100%. It kept me in the green on the overall day. Now, I didn't trade for a majority of the day because, again, I'm not feeling great, but I was so happy to see that a lot of the students absolutely bagged this trade. And I want to talk about this because I spoke about this briefly on Instagram, but this is a good example of where different types of strategies will work, and there's no such thing as really one silver bullet strategy. I think a lot of the times what we struggle with is that when the strategy doesn't work a few times, we tend to strategy hop. What I really encourage and implore most people to do is really just backtest your data, see how often it works and see how often it fails, because I think more often than not, maybe you do have a good strategy, but you just don't have the patience to see it through. And I'll talk a little bit about why today is the case. After this trade, honestly, this lower high setup was a nice short opportunity. We double topped essentially at my AOI up there, and this lower high was a great short entry. I had a few students that I highlighted already that caught the trade down. Some caught 50 points, some caught 100 points down, which was a solid trade for them as well. Now, on top of the fact that they caught that lower high entry based on candle analysis, bar by bar, and structure that I've taught them, the other thing that I will also touch on is just this is an example of a few different strategies that you could have taken. If you were an orb trader, you'd have taken a look at the setup and said, okay, that's my orb right there. This retest here would have been my orb trade down. And you would have caught this. As an orb trader, this trade would have made sense to you. That's one example. The other example here is that if you're the type of person that uses indicators like the VWAP or the 200 EMA, you could have entered here after we held beneath the VWAP. You could have entered here after you held beneath the 200 EMA. Both of those entries would have been fine, would have been good, right? And the other as well with the FF indicator, you would have caught it even sooner than those market points that I just noted. This was a classic 1, 2, 3 short to the downside on the FF indicator. So this would have also warranted a trade. So I just right there, I already gave you an example. 200 EMA, VWAP, FF indicator, orb trade. Even if you didn't trade my strategy, you would have had so many different reasons to have wanted to short this trade today. And so I guess I just want to highlight that because I know we get stuck on like, oh, what is the strategy? What's the winning strategy? I think there are a lot of different ways that you can go about it. Some strategies will work better in different conditions, right? And I think it's important for us as traders to be able to acknowledge that. So far up to this point, I myself have already been able to secure. I requested my Topstep payout for max payout yesterday. At the end of market close today, I'm going to put in another request on my Lucid Black account, which if you guys don't know, that's one of their newer accounts, but it's been solid for me. I'm able to get their bonus max payout, so not just the 1,500, but the 3,000, because I was able to achieve the bonus multiplier. So I got another $3,000 payout coming in as well on top of that. And then on another account, I'm also one more trading day away again as well. And as I say that, understand that, right now I'm on pace to have another week just like last week where I'm going to be able to get payouts every single day this week going into the end. However, just because I'm teed up for it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. And so for myself, I'm managing my expectations to say, you know what, if the market offers me the opportunity, I'll take it. If it doesn't, then I'll skip a couple days here and there and I'll get my payout at some point in time. Not rushing this. In the end of the day, got lots of accounts. I'll work through them, right? But I'm teeing up for another solid week here. I already technically, if you include the Topstep payout and the one I'm about to pay out now, I have about $7,500 pending payout right now. And I have about 2 to 3 other accounts over the next few days that are lined up for $3,000 payouts each. So on track to do the same, if not beat my last week's payouts. Apologies, I'm getting over this flu still. And even for options wise, I'm looking like I'm going to be shaping up another 5-figure options trade this week as well. So we'll see what things look like over the course of time. But that's just kind of my 2 cents. As of right now, it's been the daily bar that we just closed off is very dicey to say the very least. Like kind of inside bar, kind of ranging. So we got to trade carefully. Let the charts tell us what their opportunities are for us. We have reason to go up and we have reason to go down. Either way, I'll be ready to take the market for whatever it delivers to us. With that, I'll leave it at that. I'll catch you guys now next time.